Good evening, my friends. There is a particular kind of longing that lives in you when you want to go somewhere far, not just any trip, a specific place that's been quietly calling you for months, maybe years. Japan, in your case. The word itself does something to you. You see it written on a menu, in a film credit, on someone's vacation photos, and a small ache moves through you. Not exactly sadness, not exactly hope, something in between. You've probably told yourself 100 reasons why it isn't happening yet. The money, the time off, the visa, the flight prices, the right travel companion, the right season, the right moment in your career when you can finally step away. The list has grown long enough that the trip itself has started to feel theoretical. Something you'll do someday. Someday, which is the word people use when they've quietly stopped believing in something while still calling it a plan. Stop calling it someday. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, but first you need to understand why it works. Because if you don't understand the why, you'll do the practice mechanically and nothing will move. Here is the why. The world you walk through during the day is not actually built during the day. It's built at night, in those last minutes before you fall asleep. When the boundary between you and your imagination thins, you plant the seeds for what tomorrow grows out of. Most people plant by accident. They lie down and rehearse the day's worries, the argument they had, the bill that's coming, the thing that didn't go well. They pour all of that into the soil of sleep and then wonder why they keep waking up in the same fields. The night before sleep is the most fertile soil you have access to, and almost no one plants intentionally in it. You're going to plant Japan there, but not the way you've been imagining it, not as a wish, not as a daydream of someday standing in front of a temple. Wishes don't grow. Daydreams stay daydreams. You're going to plant it as something already lived, as a memory you're returning to. The trip didn't almost happen. It happened. You're recalling it now, in your bed, the way you'd recall any other trip you've taken in your life. This shift is the entire teaching, from wishing forward to remembering backward, from hoping it will happen to recognizing that it already has. Tonight, when you lie down, do this. Don't begin with effort. Don't immediately try to construct an elaborate scene. Just settle. Feel the bed under you. Feel the temperature of the sheets. Let your breathing slow without managing it. The state has to soften first. A tense body produces tense imagery, and tense imagery doesn't take root. When you've softened, let yourself be in Japan, not arriving, not planning, already there, and go small. The mistake people make is going for the postcard image. They imagine themselves in front of Mount Fuji looking dramatic like a stock photo. That image is too clean, too performed. It doesn't feel real because it isn't real. It's marketing. Instead, find the small detail, the one that's actually yours, the texture of the train ticket in your hand, the slight hum of the vending machine on a side street at night, the specific quiet of a temple courtyard in early morning, that particular silence with the bird sounds laid into it, the warmth of a bowl in your palms, the slip of your shoes coming off at a doorway, the small bow from the woman at the counter, the unfamiliar weight of the coins, the way the cold air smells in a Tokyo alley, different from any cold air you've smelled before. Pick one of these, just one, and inhabit it. Don't rush past it. Don't try to construct a full itinerary in your head. Stay with the small thing until it becomes vivid in your body. The hum of the vending machine. Hear it. Feel the cool metal under your fingers as you press the button. Feel the small drop as the can lands. Feel the slight chill of it through your gloves. Hear the muffled traffic in the distance. Smell whatever is in the air. Be there long enough that you forget you're in your bed. When the small thing becomes real, the trip becomes inevitable. Not because you visualized hard, because you stopped wishing for Japan and started remembering it. Stay there until you drift off. That's the whole practice. The drifting off is the locking in. Whatever state you fall asleep in is the state your subconscious continues to work from for the next several hours. If you fall asleep in the alley, in the temple courtyard, in the small ramen shop with the steam rising from the bowl, you spend the night energetically in Japan. You wake up someone for whom Japan is a settled fact. The trip is no longer a question, it's just a date that hasn't been printed yet. This is why doing it before sleep matters more than doing it any other time of day. Daytime imagination has too much resistance around it. The rational mind is awake and constantly auditing your thoughts. But at the threshold of sleep, The rational mind steps aside. The deeper mind, the one that actually shapes your life, is finally available. You speak to it in those minutes by what you let yourself feel. Let yourself feel Japan as already yours, every night, for as long as it takes. Now, a few warnings, because people sabotage this without realizing. Don't make it a performance. Don't lie there grinding through a checklist of Japanese imagery. The practice isn't more effective if it's longer or more elaborate. 2 minutes of genuine inhabiting is worth more than 30 minutes of strained construction. If you find yourself working at it, you've slipped back into wanting. Soften again. Pick a smaller detail. Let it be easier. Don't worry about the how. The how is the universe's job. Your job is the state. The moment your mind starts asking, but how am I going to afford it? How will I get the time off? What about my passport? You've left Japan and gone back to your bedroom problems. The bedroom problems have been planted enough. Plant something else tonight. Don't tell people you're doing this. Not yet. The new state is delicate. Other people, however well-meaning, will reflect their own doubts back at you. Hold the practice quietly. Once the trip starts moving, you can talk about it. Until then, protect it. Don't audit progress. Don't lie there afterward asking yourself if it worked, if you felt it strongly enough, if you did it right. The auditing is the wanting state in disguise. The person who already has the trip planned doesn't audit themselves about whether their flight is real. They just know the flight is happening, and they go to sleep. Be that person. Now, what happens during the day? This part matters too. You don't have to actively work on Japan during the day. You don't have to recite affirmations or stare at photos or make a vision board. In fact, doing too much of that during the day can actually disrupt the night work because it pulls Japan back into the wanting category. Japan is supposed to be settled now. You don't make a vision board of your morning coffee. You just have it. But during the day, when something Japan-related crosses your path, and it will, more often than you'd expect once you've started, receive it gently. A friend mentions a sushi place. A documentary recommendation pops up. An ad for flights appears. A co-worker mentions their cousin who just came back. These aren't coincidences. They're small confirmations that the channel is opening. Don't seize them. Don't force them into a strategy. Just notice, smile, internally say of course, and keep going. The of course is important. That's the tone of someone whose trip is settled. Of course the universe is bringing me Japan-related things. Of course I'm noticing them. Of course things are aligning. Said without surprise. Said the way you'd say of course the sun came up. When the practical pieces start moving, and they will, follow them lightly. A sudden idea about how to get the time off. A small windfall that could go toward a flight. An unexpected conversation with someone who's been. Move with these. Don't grip them. Don't decide one of them is the answer and stake everything on it. Let them be small currents. The way money arrives in small currents when you stop demanding the windfall. The trip will assemble itself out of pieces you couldn't have predicted. That's how these things tend to work when you've actually shifted state. The path that finally gets you to Tokyo will be one you couldn't have planned in advance because it required information you didn't have yet. Trust the assembling. Don't redesign it from your old state. Here's something most people don't realize about the night practice. You're not just imagining a trip. You're becoming someone for whom this trip is normal. That shift in identity is the actual work. The trip is the byproduct. Right now, internally, you're someone who hasn't been to Japan. That identity has been quietly producing all the reasons it hasn't happened. Money excuses, timing excuses, the specific shape of your life that doesn't allow it. As long as that identity is intact, the excuses will keep producing themselves no matter how many practical steps you take. Become someone who has already been, or who already goes regularly, or who has a life that includes Japan as a normal part of its rhythm. That identity produces a completely different set of circumstances. The circumstances don't argue against the identity, they reflect it. This is why the practice works at the level it works. You're not manifesting a flight. You're becoming someone whose life includes flights to Japan. The flight is downstream of that. Now, the question that always comes up, how long until it actually happens? I can't tell you a date. Nobody can. What I can tell you is that the speed depends on how cleanly you hold the state, not on how badly you want it. People who hold it cleanly for 2 weeks often see things move in 2 weeks. People who hold it shakily for 2 years often wait 2 years. The shakiness is the variable. Cleanliness means you're not constantly undoing the night work during the day with worry. It means you're not lying down each night in a posture of finally let me try this again with more intensity. It means the having has become the background of your life, not a project you're managing. Most people are surprised by how fast it moves once they actually settle into the having. They expect it to take a long time, and the expectation of a long time is itself a state of not yet, which produces more not yet. Drop the timeline. Let it happen as fast as it happens, faster than you'd think usually, when you finally stop interfering. Tonight, lie down and don't rehearse your day. Don't review what went wrong. Don't plan tomorrow. Don't worry about the project, the bill, the thing you said that you wished you hadn't. Go to Japan instead. Pick the alley with the vending machine, or the temple courtyard, or the train pulling into the platform with that specific chime sound, or the small kitchen counter where you're drinking something warm at 6 in the morning, jet-lagged but happy, the city just starting outside the window. Be there until you fall asleep. That's it. That's the whole instruction. There is no more advanced version. There is no harder, longer, more elaborate technique that would work better. The simplicity is the point. The simplicity is what makes it work. Do it tonight and tomorrow night and the night after. And one day, sooner than you think, you'll be standing in the actual alley, hearing the actual hum, and you'll smile because you'll recognize it. You've been here before. Every night, for weeks, you've been here. The body is just catching up to where the rest of you has already lived. That recognition is the proof. Sleep well. You're already there.